Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Phatphil. We have our mod farming guide, phase 4 here. I like to call this the speed plus 1 phase. This is, in my way of saying, your roster has reached a point where having a fast mod is no longer good enough. For you to replace that mod, it needs to have better secondary stats than what are currently on the mod that you have. This is an interesting mod phase because it's probably the most complex in the terms of when the jump happens. It's a little bit more challenging to tell now than it used to be. We'll get into that, how to identify it, how to attack this phase, and the way that you need to transition how you farm mods and the materials to slice, calibrate, everything else. So please like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Shout out to our channel members, as always. Thank you for being a part of the Phatphil family. Thank you guys for your support, your thoughts, and sticking with me through the good and the bad. You know, you guys have been very, very loyal, and you are all awesome people. Thank you for, being a part of this channel, because this channel, I remember when it started, but just on the Phatphil phone, and now here we are. So thank you guys. Let's get in here. Alright, so we're going to switch over to the Google spreadsheet. We're going to move the fat face off to the right-hand side here. So, speed plus 1 phase. Again, this spreadsheet will be linked in the description down below. So, speed is no longer enough to help your tunes. You may laugh at that, but it's a very real thing. Like, you'll end up looking at some of these characters and being like, the only way I can replace that mod is if I get one that has better secondary stats for it. It sounds, like at this point too, before I get ahead of myself, at this point too, all of your energy goes to slicing. You no longer are going to be able to use the mod, challenges to be able to obtain mods. And that's simply because your need for quality is, in this phase, you could think of quality over quantity. That you don't need a bunch of 20 speed mods at this point. You need mods with you need 120 speed mod with a good health percent secondary, or offense percent, or defense, whatever the case is, right? And just to show you a few examples here, take this mod on, I think this is Savage Press here. So it's got 20 speed, it's decent speed, it's way too fast for him, but it's only got 2% offense, so it's really not that great in the grand scheme of what I'd be looking for in a mod. When you look at that compared to, say, this one on Bo with 4% or 6.7 up here with Kylo. So the only time that this mod would eventually come off of this character is if I found one with better stats for him, right? I'm probably not going to move that to anybody at the current moment, but I could potentially find someone if I get a mod with really good defense. Maybe I find a new home for this, right? So in this phase, you're looking for those mods that the quality in them isn't just about the speed, but also about these other secondaries that are important to that specific character. Give me 1 second here. I swear my friggin' dogs just have to be annoying when I'm filming YouTube. Like, gotta come in the house or go outside. I'm looking at you, Zeus. I'm kidding, I love you. You're lucky you're cute. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled video. So, in this phase, you're looking for those secondary stats to start amplifying the effectiveness of the mod. How I discovered this phase, to just give you some context into the Phatphil history, I was farming a crazy amount of speed. I was going all in for speed, and I began to notice that I was outrunning my opponents, but that when my opponents' turns were happening, they were just obliterating me, or I wasn't dealing enough damage like they were, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm faster, I should be winning this. And I began to realize that my secondary stats were subpar. So I began to say, you know what? I'm willing to even sacrifice a little bit of speed if it means that the secondaries are going to be better suited for that character. And that is a big lesson to learn here, especially as you're kind of moving into this. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of speed off of a Galactic Legend if it means you can get better secondary stats on them. It will pay dividends for you in the long run. I promise you that. And some of these aren't even the same mods I have on them anymore because, I'm constantly switching stuff around. So the other way to think about this as well when you're thinking about this, speed plus 1, right, is, like I said, you're going to be willing to sacrifice speed at times for other stats on, for that character. But the other thing you're going to be doing in this phase as well is beginning to look for those mods that have a lot of different uses. So, for example, this mod for Lord Vader, any kind of speed. Speed is a bad example. Let's go to this one for Captain Rex here. So we've got 27 speed on it, flat protection, but then it has potency and tenacity on a potency set. So with a potency set mod, I would hope that I'm rolling a lot of speed to put on someone like Captain Rex, or I'm hoping to roll a ton of potency to put on a character who would benefit from that. Someone like Darth Sidious would be a great example, or even, characters like Tarkin. Darth Vader would like a lot of potency. Mara Jade, they like potency. So in this phase, you're kind of looking for some of these mods as well, where you've got that second stat to boost it up, that you have a chance of rolling something that if you don't roll the speed, it's still useful to you. That's kind of what this phase is all about, is finding those mods that have a use beyond just speed. So I'm showing you, the speed stuff up here because that's the flashy things, that's what's cool. But you could kind of see, say this mod over here on Commander Tano, we've got 25 speed on it. The only way that I'm going to ever replace this mod is if I can find one that kind of shows up out of nowhere. Because I'm not going to switch the Queen Amidala mod for this one. Right? Even though that has really good health percent here. But the way I view this, if I got another 25 speed mod, I'd be looking to see, are there stats on there that would more benefit my Commander Tano than not? And if so, we're going to switch it up because I'd rather have that. So that's kind of how you can sort of see this phase really in action, is some of these characters where the stats on them are kind of subpar. So how they would get replaced is by finding one that maybe is a little bit slower but has those stats, or is faster with the stats. But this phase is also, again, like I said about your potential, and if you haven't completely cut off your mod farming, cut it off. But this is also when you can start to worry about mods where you don't have speed on them, right? Or where speed isn't your primary concern. So look at this one on Snips. I've got 7.6% offense here and 5 speed. This mod, I can continue to try to roll it up and get more speed, but I've stopped for the moment, and that is because it has that five rolls of speed, and I kind of argue that even if something that isn't speed hits 5 rolls, I normally stop, only because, as I've kind of talked about in the past, the stats that benefit me begin to decrease once something hits 5 rolls that I like. So like offense percent, if I slice this mod and it rolls protection percent, that's not nearly as valuable to me as the speed would be. And it's not as valuable as offense percent would be. So I'm really limiting my benefit from that mod into just speed. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I could potentially use those resources on a mod like, let's see, is there any here that I could maybe do? No, because they all have 5 rolls of offense. Oh no, down here. Here we go. This mod on Zeb. I mean, this isn't a great example because it's like super slow. But 6.4% offense, and 12 speed, I've got a better shot of, I at least have a 50% chance to roll a stat here from a slice that would benefit my account compared to, up here with Ahsoka where I'm really just looking to get the speed. So definitely just some food for thought there as you're looking in this phase. Don't be afraid to potentially invest in some mods where speed is not the primary goal of it. Not that you don't want the speed, but there are characters who don't need speed. Snips would be one of them where she doesn't need a crazy amount of speed. You're constantly calling her to assist. Ahsoka Tano, Fulcrum, Malicos, and Seer Junda all really don't require a ton of speed. Even some of your Night Sisters, they don't really need that much speed. There's a lot of turn meter gain in those teams. And for anyone who's going to sit here and say, oh, well, if your Night Sisters get dazed, well, I'm not going to use them. Like, the way you use them is very, I'm not going to use them against teams where I can't gain turn meter. Like, recognize, and I don't know, maybe this is not the right video for it, but you've got to recognize that making an argument like that is so futile when you are the one controlling that. Like, if you set them on defense, then you are opening yourself up to somebody bringing a team that turn meter gain isn't going to work against. But if you're using them on offense, you get to pick and choose where they can make the biggest difference in your account, and that means utilizing all of the things that make them good, which could be turn meter gain. So just, again, think through that, right? And then again, I have an example up here of even defense percent, and that's obviously something that really helps a lot of tanks. So, this mod up here, where I've got 16% defense with only 4 speed, like that's brilliant. That's a great mod. I probably won't invest in this much more because Sith Trooper doesn't really need speed, so why would I put more on, why would I try to get more on him? Whereas this one over here for Newt Gunray, I have a pretty good chance to still roll health or speed on this mod, so that can be beneficial. And honestly, if I did roll additional speed there or did roll additional health, maybe that transitions into a mod for GL Leia Organa because there's really good defense and she's a tank, so then I can move her mod to someone else. That's the overarching idea here is, again, as I always talk about, that trickle-down modding, And as I talked earlier about the potential, look at this mod for Paz Vizsla. Only 17 speed, 14% defense, and 5.5% offense. It's a very solid mod, all things considered. Very good speed rolls, good offense rolls, good defense rolls. So I'm not in a massive rush to necessarily do anything else with this mod because I like all of those stats for a character like him. It adds a layer of complexity to his kit. So, one of those areas you can also think about is if that had rolled all offense, who does that mod go on? If it rolls speed, who does it go on? So before you go and purchase a mod, the question you have to ask yourself is, if it rolls defense percent, who are you sticking it on? If you don't know that answer, it might not be worth investing in because you could very well end up with a mod like that. Look at this critical chance mod up here. 19 speed, no critical chance, 15% defense on Drogon. I'm fortunately that Drogon kind of does benefit from defense, helps him out a little bit. But those are the kind of questions to ask yourself. If it rolls those stats, do you have a person that it benefits from? Because now, let's say I get another critical chance mod that ends up like this. I've got to go find somebody, not Drogon, who benefits, and that can be harder. Now, my big thing here, before I get into the game, do some slicing, kind of show you guys what this is like. Don't get too specific or picky. Don't go and, like this mod up here where defense and offense percent are on the same mod. That's perfectly fine. You can end up, look at this one for Commander Tano. Kind of worked out the same way as Paz Vizsla's. Maybe a little bit more speed, less offense, but, even less defense just on more rolls. This one's clearly a better mod. But you can look for a mod like that because if it rolls a mix of both, you can find a character who benefits from them. If it picks more of defense, pick a more tanky character. It picks more of offense, you could pick an attacking type character. But it gives you options, and that's one of the biggest things with modding to understand is you're trying to find options. Where can I use this mod that in the future even, like this one on Tarpals, 12 defense, 7% protection, 16 speed. It's a pretty decent mod, but on someone where speed isn't the primary concern and that the defense and protection make a bigger difference, well, Tarpals made sense. So this phase is about, you need to start caring about more than just the speed, right? Speed is no longer enough to make that massive difference in your account. It's much more than that. So let's go into the game here. I'm going to move the fat face back over. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little bit of slicing here. We're not going to calibrate. I promise myself I won't calibrate because I need to save that for the final phase of this guide. So where I want to start here is actually on 2 different characters. So we're going to go to Qui-Gon Jinn here, and I'm going to go on this Diamond mod. There it is, the Diamond. And then we're going to share this one with Kaidi Mundi. So I have this mod on Qui-Gon, and I found this the other day where it has 4% offense, good tenacity, good speed, and some health. And then this one on Kaidi Mundi doesn't have as much offense, and then has less speed, and then the 2 flat stats. So in this speed plus 1 phase, right, I'm looking at this one saying I can benefit more from these stats that, Cam could get better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to slice. And it rolled offense percent. So, I'm very happy with that. We're going to try this one more time, actually. We're going to go, so more offense percent. Let's go one more. And oh man, that's awesome. All right, so we're going to switch that mod off because there's no way I'm keeping that for Qui-Gon Jinn. We're going to go ahead. Sort by the speed. Man, we're starting off strong, boys. It's going to be, boys and girls, it's going to be a good mod. All right, where'd it go? Come on. Come on, where are you at? There it is. Okay, do this. That's good. So Kaidi Mundi got faster, got more offense. And then Qui-Gon Jinn, I mean, he gets worse, but at the end of the day, his stats aren't as important as Kaidimundi's are to me, right? Kaidimundi is a character who I'm going to use even in, Territory Wars. That's a great mod. We could potentially calibrate this to try and take the tenacity off, but one of those where I'm not quite willing to do that. I absolutely could, but I don't see the need to do it at the moment. I probably have better use for those calibrating materials, but that is definitely something I could look at. So then another one I'd like to maybe look at doing here. That one I'm glad I hit that. That was a great pick. So let's go here. Let's see if we have another example of an offense type here. Oh, you know what? I do. So this one's 20 and let's see. I knew I had one here somewhere. Come on. Yeah, okay, this one on Riva. So on Riva here, I've got this 20 speed mod up here with defense %, crit chance, and offense. Now this has 20 speed, but it has two stats. Like the crit chance is nice, but flat defense or flat offense, I'm not a big fan of. Down here, I've got potency, I've got the speed, and I've got protection %. So I was kind of looking at these two mods, trying to debate which one I'd prefer to slice up, and I kind of like Riva's a little bit more. Even though I won't be able to get as much speed out of it, I have a better chance of rolling something that will help her between the, like even the potency kind of helps a little bit. But I don't know that I'll slice either one of these, to be honest, because I'm not thrilled with either option there. I'm trying to see. I knew I had some more that I liked. Ooh, this one on Ben Solo. I will do that. We'll do that one on Ben Solo there. Let's go down to Ben Solo. So we've got defense, health, critical chance. We'll try this out here. Let's see what we get. Roll defense %. Not the greatest, not the worst. We'll take this to gold. Why not? And it rolls critical chance, of course. So that's definitely one that I would try to calibrate the crit chance off of. Even though critical chance could help Ben, it's not. I'm modding him for offense, so I'm not overly, crazy about the crit hit there. This one, critical damage. We could maybe take a look at that. That's got enough speed, enough offense. That rolled the full thing, so we're okay there. Let's take a look at, I think, the last one. Let's go back to some Jedi here. I think I have some potential mods here. That's just tragic. I need to find a better mod. Yeah, potency I'm not a fan of. Health, no. Yeah, we'll try this. Health %, protection %. Flat protection, not great, but it does have the defense primary up here. So let's go ahead. Let's try this out. And, of course, it rolled flat protection. We'll give that one more slice. Okay, it rolls speed. I don't really need a ton of speed on a, General Kenobi, but, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than rolling the flat stuff, that's for sure. But that's kind of, in this speed +1 phase, you're looking for that, all right, even if it doesn't roll XYZ stat, is it still beneficial to my account? Is it still something that could make a difference? Still something that will be able to net me, like this one on IG-12 and Grogu. Speed, potency, health, and then critical chance. Like, that crit chance is a little bit scary to me. Maybe find one more. I'm kind of on a roll, not really. No, it's got full potency. I don't hate that. We'll try it. It's cheap to do. Come on. It rolled tenacity. One more. Come on. There we go. All right, 20 speed. It didn't roll great speed, but it rolled speed. Hey. And then, this is a big-time calibrate, right? For only 15, that's a big-time calibrate. Next video. Remind me to do Scout Trooper. In the comments, say, Phil, don't forget to go redo Scout Trooper, because that is a 1,000% big-time upgrade there. All right. Last one. I'm feeling dangerous. Who am I feeling dangerous on? Is there any on Mace Windu I really love? Health, potency, offense. Health, offense. Offense. Ooh, I don't mind this one. We'll try this. All right, last one. All right, it rolled health. Not the worst thing for a tank. We'll take it. So, hopefully you guys kind of saw the slicing side here, right? This phase, You're still slicing mods. You're trying to find those ones that are going to benefit your account and could potentially benefit you in multiple ways. Like as you saw here, I'm not overly concerned it didn't roll the speed because it's on a tank, right? Like I can, it's got a little bit of offense. You're trying to find those mods that even if they don't roll that perfect stat or get to 30 speed, whatever the case, they're still benefiting your account. They're still making a difference because you want to avoid the mods like, say, this one on Revan, where I've got tenacity, potency. It's got a good amount of speed, but it's not really helping me out in any way besides the primary and the speed. So a mod like this is not worth as much to me, even as that one like Mace Windu per se, where he's gaining offense, health, some speed, and the defense percent from the the primary there. So that's why this phase is so important to understand, is you're starting to build those secondary stats to be able to get to the next phase, which is fine-tuning, and we'll cover that at a later date. So let me know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, comment. I love you all. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.